Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. It's a short kick, taken at the 15. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. And they will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback. He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line. And a peek now at the offense for Cleveland.
Isaiah Crowell is a talented running back, and I would use him like a boxer that's controlling the ring. Come at him with different angles, meaning let him run the ball inside, let him run to the perimeter, get him out in space and throw the football to him. The more touches he has in a game, the better his effect on the overall outcome.
They're going to look to throw. Sammy Coates has it complete. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook. Pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. He'll drop to throw. Oh, incomplete. The rookie had it and lost it there. And it'll be second down. Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. 5 yards gets him back near the original line of scrimmage as they'll be left with a 3rd and long.
In today's NFL, you hear all the time about stretching the field and creating space in order to run plays. A toss play will help accomplish that because now you're pushing a defense to chase you all the way to the edges and to the sideline. That's a nice run, probing now early to try and get things done later.
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
So on 4th down, Britton Colquitt on to punt. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. So here come the Ravens with their first look on offense. And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4" quarterback. First down. Richard. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Joe Schobert. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
Offensively, when you see cover 2, the thought has to go through the quarterback's head. Drive the football when making throws. It's not just the deep guys covering. It's the guys underneath you have to be careful of. Drive your throw. Otherwise, you see what results. Interceptions.
The Browns offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And for the moment, they're sitting pretty in possession of that number 2 seed and, more importantly, perhaps that first-round bye.
But they have to clinch it, don't they?
Yeah.
That's the key, right? So, in a sense, the playoffs have started. They've got to go ahead and get this thing done. Otherwise, it's a different road, and you really don't want to be at the mercy of other teams and their results. That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
Second down now after the incompletion. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with third and still 7 yards to go. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on third down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped. But I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
On third down, that's Boyd. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
They tried to run right into the teeth of the defense on third down, but looked like those teeth were pretty sharp.
They were having absolutely none of it, stuffed him for a loss.
Yeah, couldn't get any leverage up front and move people aside in order to run the ball.
Well, he had that one on target. That's half the battle. The other half of the battle, however, is distance.
And he nearly had that, too. But it was a crossbar that said otherwise, and that'll deny him a shot at 3.
The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Let's go.
And to give this time to the tailback. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. Operating from the gun, Richard. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he goes out right around the 39. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that's going to make it 4th down. A good way there to have him bounce back from the interception last drive. Something underneath, a little bit of rhythm going.
I know the best ones in the league have supreme confidence, but every now and then you need a little booster, don't you? This is their way of protecting him and bringing him back, and then they'll turn him loose later, I would think.
So on 4th down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. This is brought in at the 21. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the Browns will take over 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And they were in field goal range the last time out, but couldn't connect.
And it's early in the game, so I don't think that the confidence just goes entirely out of, running your kicker back out there. But let's face it, some coaches have a little bit less patience for that than others. Let's see if they call the game differently now in terms of what they do on drives and not try and settle for field goals.
And he'll be tackled at about the 35. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 16 carries, 112 yards.
And now that he's playing a Thursday night game, short week, he spent a lot of time in the trainer's room in the cold tub trying to get his legs back for this game.
If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. The numbers for him from a week ago. 3 catches, 108 yards.
And he's trying to prove the adage, it's not just how you start, it's how you finish. And he is finishing awfully strong, takes great care of his body. I expect him to go ahead and put a capper on this season.
Now a handoff here to his running back. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
As a guy carrying the ball, your eyes are going to direct your feet, and you're hoping they carry you to the open spaces. But it's awfully difficult at times because you have so many things you have to look out for. Where's the line blocking? Where's the traffic coming from? Tough to find open spots.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave him with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
He's got his man on the crossing route. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they showed to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
And that's why you see so many teams play a 3-4 defense, because that set gives you a lot of flexibility about where to bring pressure from, and it's hard for an offense to pick it up. Left side, right side, up the middle, especially with some really flexible linebackers.
Now a first carry for Isaiah Crowell. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with 3rd and about 6 yards to go.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And a 3rd down pass falls incomplete.
Well, we keep stats on everything, don't we? This is one that you don't want to have. That's his 2nd drop right here in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, I was going to say, only in the 1st quarter. Certainly a ship that he wants to right quickly. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
Yeah, as an offensive coordinator, if you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work. But in his defense, this has been a stifling defense so far. So they've got to start finding a way to unlock them as this game goes on.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. This is their 3rd drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down. Brandon, that play certainly felt like what I call a tendency breaker. 1st and 10, they dial up a draw play. That's not a normal situation, but give credit to the defense. They weren't fooled at all and really finished off the play.
Now, prior to the snap, we hit all zeros as time has run out on the 1st quarter of play. 3-0 is our score. We're back to Baltimore after this. 2nd quarter now. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis with you. It's the Ravens who have the football, but they face a 2nd and long to start things out.
Here we go.
Back to throw. Richard. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. No chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Come on, let's go.
Off play action. Richard. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Throwing back across his body. Picked off near the 32. And he will take it across midfield and down to the 45. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. Well, what do you think? You get the ball off the turnover near the middle of the field. You take a shot here on the first play?
You know I'm big on that. I love when I have great field position. After a turnover, I feel like I might have them a little bit off balance. I prefer to take a shot, but a lot of coaches will tell you, you only do it if you trust the guy who's got the football in his hands. Meaning, if it's not there, he won't force it downfield and maybe turn into an interception. He'll go to the check down, go to a 2nd option, and go ahead and take the play that's in front of him. He's just not at his focus in this game. It's not 1 drop. It's not 2. That's 3 for this contest.
Yeah, uncharacteristic for any NFL receiver, and he's no exception. And able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Well, winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, 1 broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
He'll look to throw. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
Holding offense.
So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now, that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. A special teams mistake there, no doubt. Just 26 yards officially on the punt. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. Bottom line, he's got to figure things out. He's completed 3 passes, but 2 of them have been to the wrong team so far.
And when we talk about the best quarterbacks, we're usually talking about touchdown to interception ratio, aren't we? And 2 to 1 is acceptable, but the top line guys, 3 to 1 or better is what they're looking for. Now we're talking about interceptions versus completions. That's not a ratio that should ever be in any discussion.
It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore first down. Maybe a little sign of life here offensively, Charles. They get their first down. They didn't have any in quarter number 1.
And I think what we're seeing is great evidence of good scouting by both teams, right? Understanding what they like to do, their best plays, try and take those away early. So now we're seeing some adjustments, and they end up getting their first down.
Here we go.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. But at least he was able to break that initial contact, or it could have been a loss.
Yeah, give credit to the defensive player, though. What did he do? Made him slow down, slow up his feet, and allowed the rest of the guys to get there to finish him off.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Room here to run. And he's brought down after a good gain. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here, because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Haynes. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Now a carry here for Terrence West. And he's going to be met at about the 43. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Richard. And incomplete on the deep ball. He was trying to get that one to Allen that time, and that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
There's so much precision in an offense, especially when you're throwing the ball. And in an out route, plenty of it. How about the quarterback hitting his back foot, ball's out of his hands, receiver making his break, making his cut. He's got to time up perfectly. Not always easy to do.
Just let him a little too much.
Yeah, I remember back in the good old days, I was talking to a quarterback, and he said everything they did was on the count system. So when he took a snap, he counted in his head for certain routes, different time frames for each one, and he knew if the ball wasn't out of his hand at that point, he'd better eat it because the play was dead. I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a 3rd down stop by them.
On is the punter, Cook, who sends it away. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. The Browns offense heading back out to take possession. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. For a lot of people, MVP award means a quarterback award usually, but over 100 yards again last week. They're going to have to look his way more than once when giving out this award this season, I think.
Yeah, it's not just the consistency. It's been some plays that we've seen where we talk about it for weeks thereafter. That's what we're getting out of him. Over 100 yards last week. Expects to continue that in this game, too.
Let's go!
Back to throw. The middle, but it's incomplete.
Tremendous coverage there. Just did not catch the football and complete the interception. But what do they say all the time? If he had really good hands, he'd be playing offense.
The Browns on third down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And in the next breath, they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Now they'll run it on the toss. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? And almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility?
Over the middle here to Coates. He got 29 yards that time. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion.
First down, he'll drop to throw it. And a loose football.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. Now a play fake here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
But that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast and a big sack. Second down, here's Crowell. And down inside the 35, he goes to the 32-yard line. 9 yards on the gain there, so from 2nd and 19, now we've got a 3rd and 10.
The defense has been on the field a long time now, and after a run like that, they've got to feel like they're almost on roller skates and getting pushed backwards on just about every snap.
The Browns on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. They'll set up to throw. pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, we'll send you to Orlando and Larry Ridley as he'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. But no touchdown. These guys need to give Larry some touchdowns to talk about.
Things are too easy for him right now back in the studio. Come on, guys. Help the man out. Give him something to talk about.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Throw left side complete. That's Haynes. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
Looking to throw. Richard. And an alley to run. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Season of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. They want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Oh, incomplete. The rookie had it and lost it there. And it'll be second down. So they just got the football on an interception. They almost gave it right back the same way.
And, you know, when you look over to the bench after that type of a play, number one is pure relief. Didn't give it up. But it's not the coach you're worried about yelling at you. It's those guys on defense who just intercepted the pass who want to break over there. Hey, take care of the football, man.
To throw now on 2nd and 10. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. The turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
He'll look to throw. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
Let's go. 3-19.
They'll set up a throw. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. A great effort there with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Browns add on to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. A drive there of just 4 plays, and it's capped off by the Browns' touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. It's a short kick taken near the 18. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number one. On 1st and 10, Richard over the middle, complete. It's Haynes. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Throwing on 1st down, Richard. And that's complete to the right side. It's Allen. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 11 more on that one, and another 1st down.
And the hitch route is run really well. That jab step off the line of scrimmage by the receiver, which is designed to back up the defender and give him a little bit of space. All you want there, get that space, catch the football, and then make a move and pick up extra yardage. And that's exactly what he got done there.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's Haynes. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So a field goal here. They're still down, but they put a dent into that lead before the break.
And that's got to feel good because now they've seen that they can put some more points on the board, and that gives them a whole second half to get back to where they want to be, and that's in the lead.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Sammy Coates now to return it. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So we come upon halftime, and it's the visiting Browns with the lead. As we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando, where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Charles. And welcome to our EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. The Ravens are behind right now, but the home crowd should give them a boost. The Browns have looked good on the road and will just try to keep the ball rolling in the second half. All right, let's get it going. Let's roll those first half highlights. Offense on the field now after the pick. Defense will get to the QB here. This will go for a loss of 8. Second and 2 coming up. Here the throw is hurried and picked off. Crawford's reading the play and comes away with it, ending the drive. Offense out now following the INT. Boyd's found on the quick pass, and it's caught for the touchdown. That takes the lead up to 10. That'll do it for us here at EA Sports Studios. Let's get back out to Brandon and Charles for the call of the second half. Brandon.
This one fielded at the 5. Stiff-armed him. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And he's looking to take much better care of the football here in half 2 after 3 first-half interceptions.
We don't have to just look strictly at the numbers here. You know what else happens to a team when you turn it over 3 times like that? It erodes confidence in you. And it erodes confidence in the offense. And now you have the defensive guys looking over and saying, what is going on here? And instead of playing for the team, they're playing angry and mad at their teammates.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
Come on, let's go! 1-9!
They go play action here on first down. Looking deep downfield. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect.
But it's not been the best game for him, but he definitely tried to get by with a little help from his friend there, trying to create a big play.
Couldn't do it, fell incomplete. But you're right, hasn't been a better game here in the second half, just trying to get going.
Big thing is trying to keep confidence up and continue to fire.
And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. The Ravens on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This time it's 3rd and 3.
Let's go! 1-9!
Back to throw. Richard. He's going to float this one deep right side. The swing pass caught. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. A great play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Ravens are an extra point away from tying the football game. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
And his kick is good. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. It's a short kick taken near the 18. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. That time they were looking for the former Auburn Tiger, Ricardo Lewis. And that'll bring up second down. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get 2, maybe 3 up near the 37.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
They'll look to throw here. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd. And on this challenge, the refs have to take a peek and see whether or not the receiver was able to dot the I with both feet,
while making sure that he possesses the football all the way through the catch.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Cleveland. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll power his way up near the 25. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
But we all know the guy carrying the ball is going to get the credit, both in the stat line and probably in the newspaper. But guess what? Those guys creating holes, they couldn't feel better about themselves right now. Offensive line, tight end, probably even the wide receivers are involved. They're moving the ball well.
To throw on second down, Richard. And he will find his man on the outside. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
The Ravens on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Going to give this time to the tailback. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
That was a terrific job by the defense stopping them on 3rd and short. But sometimes you get some visual cues from the offense because when they're going in short yard situations, you might see the offensive line come in tighter together, a little more shoulder to shoulder, trying to wedge a hole in the middle. They didn't get it done on that play.
Here's Sam Cook now as he's on to punt for Baltimore. Fielded at the 33. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
They'll drop the throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. First down, he'll drop to throw. And some space here. And he's going to be taken down, but not before reaching the 15-yard line. 23 yards on the play. And he'll give it here to his running back. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
The insistence of speed at every position is really seen at the defensive end spot. These guys in old days were often outside linebackers. They just pushed them forward because they wanted to play fast and get to the quarterback or the running back quicker than ever before.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. A solid pickup at 13 sets him up 1st and goal.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Sammy Coates, the intended target there. And it's second down. Down this close to the goal line, first down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on first down in this situation because second down, that gives me that option of running play action and maybe throwing it.
They come out here in the eye. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he takes this one in for a Browns score. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the game, 17th on the year. And the Browns have taken the lead. So the second time tonight, he has hit the end zone, Charles.
Some people just have a natural nose for the end zone, and he's exhibiting that here in this game. Big-time job, and of course, he's got to pat the backs of the offensive line.
Yeah, they can't be lost in the shuffle. They're vital. And he'll bang that one through. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. There he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And I guess right now, as we look at some of his struggles today, the term next play really applies here. He's got to move on.
I love where your head is on that because that's where his head needs to be, exactly what you've said. Yes, there have been mistakes made, but he's got to move on and play the next play as if it didn't happen, keep his confidence up. But how about the guys on the defensive side of the ball? They've got to be feeling great about what's going on right now. They've already gotten to him a few times. They want to keep that up. Maybe they can pick off a few more.
Yeah, they disrupted already for 3 INTs. Call it a loss of 2 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and 12.
One of the beauties of a 3-4 defense is that you have flexibility with your linebackers, and you can put them in different spots. But one of the downsides is an offensive team that's committed to running the football, you can get your big offensive linemen up on linebackers quicker, and it usually gives you an advantage in running it.
And the offense moving in the wrong direction here now as they face a 2nd and 12. Play clock winding down. Now a handoff here to his running back. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. Great play there off the end. Question, Charles, in a 4-3, you hear about the D tackles a lot. What's the role of the ends?
What they want to do is control the edges of the defense. And you always hear about an offense talking about setting the edge in the running game. Well, the defense wants to do exactly the same thing. In the defensive end, often against an offensive tackle, sometimes a tight end, they can't let themselves get a hook and let a running back get outside, because if they do that, that hurts the integrity of the defense overall.
My man, the encyclopedia.
I would dare say that these guys would have liked to have given their defense a little bit more rest since they gave up a touchdown their last time out. But alas, my man, that's not going to happen.
Yep, they're going to have to grab those helmets, get right back out there. Here's Sam Cook now as he's on to punt for Baltimore. Now fair catch is called for and taken at the, we'll call it the 37-yard line. Now the Browns offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Back to throw here. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's interesting because when I'm watching college football and I'm evaluating guys for the draft now, my list of fullbacks, pure fullbacks, it's a very short list. I'm probably evaluating more punters and kickers now than I am fullbacks, but it doesn't matter what you call the position, it's who you put there, and there we saw completion.
Inside 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. Looking to throw. And incomplete. A drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down. Maybe just a lack of concentration there as he couldn't haul it in.
And when you're going across the middle like that, you know, he's running that drag route, you are conscious of all the bodies and the traffic in there. But let's face it, if you're going there, you might as well come down with the football and absorb whatever else happens after that.
Now back to throw. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's third down.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
The Browns on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get it down here to the 43. A good pickup there, 7 yards, but it brings up 4th down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him? Maybe the guys up front? Combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. They had blocked so well in the first half, picked up on what the defense was doing. I think we've seen an adjustment now that they have not picked up on, and now they're being a little bit overwhelmed.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes, if you've got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down, losing yardage back at the 9-yard line. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. Well, as an offense, you know, some drives you have it, some drives you don't. And this one looks like a you don't.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it was 3rd and long. It was screaming for a pass. I think they tried to outguess him there with the running play. They didn't fool him at all.
Went in the wrong direction. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore, as we are just about set to go here in quarter number 4. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. And to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well. Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bring up a key third down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key third down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go. Call it a gain of 5. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And that is incomplete. The Browns unable to move the chains on 4th down. And the Ravens are going to get the football back. So they'll trudge off the field with a bitter taste in their mouths after that failed 4th down conversion.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of analysis there on the sidelines. Was it the right call? Was it against the right defense? Should they have even gone for it at all? Will that change what they do going forward in this game? A lot of questions to be answered by them. The defense doesn't really care. They're like, bring it on again. We'll stop you the next time, too.
Come on, let's go.
On 1st down, Richard. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. So they took a shot on 1st down, but couldn't connect.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Richard going for the deep ball. That's caught inside the 20. And he takes this down deep into Cleveland territory. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 59 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
And this is incomplete.
We always talk about receivers. If the ball hits your hand, you're supposed to haul it in, but it is hard to adjust to a pass thrown a little bit behind you.
That one was all the momentum going forward. Couldn't contort his body back to grab it. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Now a handoff as they run left side. They'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Ravens are an extra point away from tying the football game.
Well, 2 touchdowns scored. I know his team's happy. His coaches are happy. How about the fantasy owners of this game?
Always happy with 2, but they'd like 3 or 4. And now a critical extra point attempt here. And no sweat. He puts it through, and we are tied here in the 4th. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. This will be fielded at the 6. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A good play there as the Browns strike for 16 and a first down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10.
Green 39! Green 39!
They'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And this is going to be incomplete.
Just looking at it from a defensive perspective, when you break the huddle in the red zone, tight end is one of the guys you've got a key on because quarterbacks want the ball in their hands fast in this position, and they want to get it to someone. And in this case, he had the play. They just didn't complete it.
Here we go. Green 39!
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Just a couple there on the second down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation. The Browns on 3rd down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This is 3rd and 8. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
Yeah, and on 3rd down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. A big one coming now for the kicker, Zane Gonzalez. And Gonzalez puts this one through. And with that, they take the lead here 20-17. So the drive here ends with a field goal, and that does give them the lead, but this one is still a long ways from over.
And you love to be able to look up at the scoreboard and see that you're out in front, but then you take one look across the field and see that offense is raring to come back out, and you think, I don't know that field goals are going to be enough to get us home.
And it's a short kick, taken right around the 19. The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
On 1st and 10, Richard. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Stop shy of the 45. Showed off a nice little move on the play, though. 7 yards there on the first down screen play.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they left little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
He took a hit on that last play. Now let's see how he and the offense respond on second.
Let's go.
Looking to throw. Richard setting up the screen for West. And I think the ball's out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
And I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule, where the offensive player fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where, for the offensive team, the sideline is their friend. Usually it's not their friend.
Yeah, exactly right. I actually played for a guy in college. You know what he used to name the sideline? Sammy. Sammy sideline, and use him well.
And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. He got out of bounds. That's a good thing, but still short of the first.
And now, since this brings up 4th down, the defensive play caller, grab your nerves, because now you don't want to be so amped up that you give them a first down by getting out of your lanes, but you also don't want to just lay back and let them have it easily.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that'll help. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
And the offense here just looking to stay in bounds, complete the short passes, and put this game on ice.
All right, here we go.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead. And now here's a carry heading left. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. And now right out of the 2-minute break, We'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Here's Britton Colquitt now. And you wonder, could they possibly think about taking a safety here? And he'll just punch it out of there, and it's not a great kick. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Just 34 yards on the punt there, no return. And the Ravens set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And those numbers, they kind of tell the story of his game so far. Started off not so hot. Now he's really heated up.
And remember, he signed up for duty as the guy who leads the team, right? The field general, the signal caller. So when things go rocky early, he can't just exit out and ask someone else to pick things up. He's got to do it himself, and that's what he's done here in this game.
They'll look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll go down at the 28. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. He'll look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Haynes. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. He's back to throw. And to the right side here, it's Allen. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives them a new set of downs. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
So they're operating in the red zone. To throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Haynes. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return. And
what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
And that will make this a 4-point game. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Heading out is the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. They're down here in a 1-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. Working the sideline there. Good route, good catch. First down, and he gets out of bounds.
Now you have to like the play calling because you have to run some guys down the middle of the field to draw some of the defenders away. They can't just let them guard the sideline exclusively. That's how it's going to work. Sidelines and incompletions to use the clock.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Back to throw. And an alley to run. And he's brought down. That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup. First down now, but that clock rolling. He'll look to throw. It's a gain of 7, and it'll make it a 2nd down. They're going to look to throw. And before they can run this third down play, we're going to get a timeout, as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game.
Here we go.
Back to throw. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. What a great sequence by this defense so far. They've given him nowhere to go with the football.
And they just have to make it stand up one more time, because it appears that they've got their number. Can they not have a slip up here and allow the touchdown?
And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. So they've gone for it twice now on fourth down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a third situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
The Ravens taking a knee with victory seemingly in hand here. And with just inside of 10 seconds to go, they'll burn their final timeout. 9 seconds left. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it. Here's Sam Cook now, as he's on to punt for Baltimore. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Ravens, their very slim playoff hopes remain as they move to 6-7 on the year. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week, where they take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, it's a loss that could have implications on the playoff race as they fall to 9-4. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Seattle Seahawks. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Ravens are victorious here as we say so long from Baltimore.